kind of go use our imagination for a minute. So let's suppose that today, after you left here, that you kind of finished out your day and you go home, go to bed. During the night, a miracle occurs. I'm magic. I put a magic spell over your house, and all of these problems, like the communication, the discipline issues, everything, like with Jared, it all vanishes. But you don't know this miracle has occurred. So you are thinking when you wake up tomorrow, everything will be as normal. However, when you do wake up, what would be, like, how would you know that this miracle occurred? Like when your alarm goes off and you crack your eyes open, what would help you to know that, like, this was the end goal that we wanted? Everything that we've been dreading that has been going on, like, we've reached that end point. How would you know?
He's doing his chores without being asked a million times, without throwing a fit about it.
Okay. So that would be, as like the day gets started, like what is something that you normally ask him to do in the morning that he maybe has rejected previously, or like kind of shown resistance to, that he would now be like, okay.
Other than just getting out of bed?
I mean,
eating the dogs?
Okay. So he would wake up, comply, like when you went in there and said, come on, Jared, like it's time to get up, he would gladly get out of bed, get what he needs to be done, and then go and feed the dogs.
I think for me it would be him not waking up in a negative mood,
Mm-hmm.
and then setting off Jared.
Can you kind of, let's explore like the negative mood, like how?
I mean, I know he like deals with a lot of stress and he has a lot going on, but sometimes I feel like that stress is taken out on Jared, and that's kind of where the communication between us is affected, and the discipline kind of comes in.
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense. Sometimes, like, we just have that pre-notion when we get out of bed, like, here we go again. This is another day that is going to be difficult and challenging. So just to kind of like know he's getting off on the right foot.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you think throughout the day further, like the community, like when you speak to each other, when you are like helping out each other? Because I know, like, so with Jared, this would kind of stem from like him being compliant, and then Beth kind of talked about how you would like kind of be more open and maybe less grouchy, we'll call it. So what, for you besides Jared, what would
be different?
Mm-hmm. How would you know that things are good?
Maybe we'd be on the same page more.
Okay.
We weren't on the same page like we used to be, so it was kind of like, I think maybe him being there is throwing a wrench in the normal, what is normal, and so it's become difficult to kind of, I guess, be on the same page like we used to be.
Yeah. So when you mean on the same page, like, give me an example of that so I understand.
Like having an understanding of our goals and what we want to achieve, and being able to just like, and having those line up, and the way we accomplish those goals also used to line up more than they seem to now. That's like, so I guess going back to what it used to be.
So maybe taking this third person out of the equation for a minute. So your lives have completely been like rocked upside down. Yeah. And so maybe taking time every night to just sit down with each other and talk to each other and kind of get back to where you were before this started. And I mean, as of right now, this arrangement is temporary, but who knows, like, what it could lead to if you guys decide maybe you want Jared to stay with you longer. So just talking about working past this and where y'all want to be maybe when he goes back to your sister, or what y'all would look like if he did stay, and how y'all could get a game plan together and we could start working through those steps.